Oh, here it is. This was the funniest one to me. So are you going to have your resources available to view? Yeah, like literally everything that I have done is online archive. So all of my past posts here on Instagram and Facebook, all of my past videos are up on YouTube as well as IGTV, as well as JimmyRants.com. All of my podcasts, I have over 1,700 episodes of the Living La Vida Low Carb Show, my Real Talk podcast, even my older podcasts like Nutritional Pearls and Keto Hacking MD podcast. I did a show a long time ago. You should definitely go check it out. It was one of my funnest shows because it was a live audio show. You should have seen the technology back then when I did this. This was about 10 years ago I did this show. It was called Ask the Low Carb Experts. And I literally had a live show where people were calling in with the questions and they were asking them live on the air. I've always dreamt of doing a live call-in show because I'm kind of a disc jockey at heart. I kind of know how to talk. And so I enjoyed that show. The problem is I did it like 7 o'clock at night is when I did it. So that to try to get all the West Coast people and have live people and blah, blah, blah. Major mistake because some of those episodes went I think one of them went almost 3 hours long. And so by the end, I'm like, that's all the time we have for this episode of Ask the Low Carb Expert. And I was just like drifting. So I had to quit that show, but I always loved the format. Go look it up. It's still out there on Apple Podcasts and other formats, but Ask the Low Carb Expert. So if you're looking for content from me, that's just a few ideas. But yes, all of my resources still will be available long after I'm gone. All right. What do you have planned when you return? Well, let me get out of here first, and then I'll tell you what I have planned. But in short, and I think I've talked about this a little bit before on Jimmy Rants. Not that I think I want to move away from keto explicitly, but I think it's become oversaturated with people talking about it. There's so many people talking about all of the concepts that I've been talking about for over 15 years now. So I'm kind of feeling the pulling, if I'm being honest, to talk about a lot of things, which if you've been following my work in 2020, you know I've been talking about all kinds of things, not just keto and fasting and cholesterol and all the normal things that I always talk about. I'm talking about life stuff. I'm talking about philosophical stuff, mental health stuff, things like childhood trauma. Those are the things that get me excited because the world is a whole lot bigger than just diet. And I hate to burst your bubble if that's what you think the world revolves around, but it don't. And I feel like I have so much more I could contribute in the area of mindset, in the area of setting yourself up for success, in the area of just living life as a good human being. I've tried to infuse a lot of that in my work already, and I want to do a lot more of that next year. And I have plans to start writing books again next year. I don't know what about yet. I've talked to a couple people about some ideas of things I would like to do, but nothing is firm yet. I definitely love to write. I love to talk, so I'm going to keep going with the podcast. I have talked to a couple people about different podcast ideas as well, either for them to do or for me to join them. Obviously, I'm going to come back to Jimmy Rants. I've been kind of fighting about changing the name of Jimmy Rants because a lot of people, when I did a poll earlier in the year about what they think about the name, there's a lot of them that said, well, it just has a negative connotation, rants. And I'm like, well, if you watch the show, yeah, I get impassioned, but I'm not like screaming at you. And so I'm toying around with the idea, do I change the branding from Jimmy Rants to something else? I do like Jimmy Rants. I think it's kind of a fun thing. And then that logo back there is kind of cool to have it screaming. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the plan for next year. And I just want to evolve. Like, I think too many people that are influencers, and especially ones that have been around as long as me, I'm like the old fart in the community because I've been doing this and reinventing myself over and over and over again. So the newest invention still will talk about diet and health, but feels like there's so much more that hasn't been tapped into yet. And I think once you guys see that side of me where I can tap into sides of me that are beneficial, which indirectly affect your health, I think you're going to like that. And a lot of you guys have said you've enjoyed the content I've done this year. So that's the plan for 2021.